Joe Hopkins here, and today I'm talking about learning to improvise on the guitar or any other instrument, right? You should. That's what it says. You should learn to improvise. And I'll tell you why, right? I'm playing guitar, works on anything. Yeah, improvising. It impresses people. It's something that I've been kind of good at over the years. I'm not going to claim to be like a great guitarist. I'm competent, but I noticed people were impressed even early on when I could just make stuff up, just on the spot. That's what improvising is. Just inventing things as you go. And it's not total invention. It's not coming out of nowhere. I'm going to give you some of the ideas that, some of the things that helped me get to that. I've always liked it because it is one of the things people have been impressed at my ability to do. And so, when people are impressed with something, you cultivate it. And, that's what I've done. So the first thing you want to do, learn your chords and a scale, And I started out with the pentatonic scale, like a lot of people. When you first get into improvising stuff, it's a good place to start because, well, one, it's an easy scale. People put it down a lot because it's the pentatonic scale. Everybody plays that. Well, there's a reason why everybody plays it, right? You can use it over just about any kind of modern music. Initially, it was kind of blues, but it's rock, country, pop, just about everything allows for a certain amount of use of the pentatonic scale, for the most part, your basic. For improvising, it's a good place to start. As you go, as you learn, you can add some notes to it. I'm not saying you have to stay within the pentatonic scale. It's a good starting point. And then you can kind of add to it. Find stuff that sounds good. It's all about playing around with it, though. That's the thing. Just like when you're learning lead, you learn some licks, you learn some stuff from other people, and then you fiddle around with your scale and look for stuff that you think sounds good. And that's kind of what you do. And then you play along with other people or a backing track and learn to play along with stuff. Same thing with chords, because you can learn chord improvisations. Backing tracks are great, especially the ones that tell you what chord you're on. You play along with different ones until you kind of really get a feel for what chords go where and what chords kind of go together, and then you take it from there, and then just kind of it starts to make sense, if that makes sense. Once you really get a feel for it, playing a lot of other stuff, you start to get an idea, okay, if I'm playing like an A, where do I go from there? Well, G, that works with it, and A, G, D, that's a good spot, right? Or A, C, D, you get the idea. You play other songs, you get an idea of, what goes. Yeah, a little kind of rip off Smoke on the Water a little bit, why not? But change it, make it yours, and just think on your feet a little bit. What goes along. Yeah, throw an E in there, why not? And most people, when they talk about improvisation, they mean lead stuff. So I'm mentioning the chord stuff because a lot of the songs I do, I'll improvise the initial rhythm track. Just go through and do something I think sounds cool. And sometimes it works out pretty good. Sometimes it doesn't. But that's part of experimentation, right? But yeah, as far as lead, once you start getting a couple licks down, you just kind of turn on your backing track or have your friend play some rhythm and start to play along with it. Just, find what sounds good. And you'll find that your standard licks don't always sound right over everything. You got to start experimenting. This is where you start learning, putting in other scales. I start with the pentatonic because it's easy, and then you can build from there. Sometimes you mess up too. Anything you learn. You learn some arpeggios, you know? Work them into your licks. Just learn them and then add them in where it works. Yeah, you got your arpeggio. I'm kind of flubbing it a bit. And you also got your standard blues stuff. Put them together, because why not? Yeah, anything you learn, you add it in, it makes it a little fancier, and find what works. When you play along with a backing track or other people, you start to find what works and what doesn't. And accept that you're going to stink at this for a while. And even when you get good, you're still going to do some things where it's like, ooh, that didn't work. Try to remember what works and what doesn't. Most of improvisation is experience. It's just practicing it over a lot of different things and finding what works in this situation, what works in that situation. Experiment a lot. Find new things, new notes for you. They're not new, but you've never used them in that context before. Does it work? You know, can I put... Sounds funny, but in somewhere, and I've played that lick on things before, it works. Somewhere that works, and you're going to find where that is if you practice. That's all improvisation is practicing, playing around with it, finding what works and what doesn't. And over time, you start getting good at it. And then when somebody's like, hey, can you play something? Then you can just, you know, play something. And how can you just play something? Because I know all those notes, I know all the licks. I just put them in different orders and mix and match where I think it'll sound good. And even here, while I was just playing this, I'm kind of thinking, let me try this, let me try that. And I know this lick and that lick, how can I slide this into that and make it work? And that's improvisation. That's basically what it is. It's knowing the scales, knowing what notes you want to use, knowing what, different arpeggios. And putting it together. So what you do, you go out there, you learn your chords, because the chords, those arpeggios are basically your chords, right? Just find your chord shape, you got your A minor. Just play it note for note, or one note at a time. Yeah, something like that. Or, your D minor. Yeah, if you're learning sweep picking, some people do that. I've tried. I'm just, same kind of thing. You learn those chords, and those are the notes. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, there you go. There's an idea. It's why chords are good to know. You can use those, especially your bar chords. That's your arpeggios. You learn some scales, that throws stuff in there. Start simple and work your way up. Learn a little bit at a time. And the more you know, the more you learn, the more you can do. sorry, I'm just kind of fiddling around. I'm watching my fingers, seeing where they are, what would sound good. You can hear I flub stuff once in a while because that's what you do when you're just fiddling around. And then when you go to play a song in front of people, if that's what you want to do, you kind of get a pretty good feel for what you want and learn it well enough that you don't flub it. But you could still throw in the unexpected, change it however you want. You know what I mean? That's improvisation. That's what it means. So get out some scales, start practicing, and enjoy it, man. It's a journey, baby, and it's awesome. And listen to some of my actual music. There's links to streaming down below, and here in a minute, a playlist comes up. It says I Didn't Get a Memory. That's my album. That's one of the 2 albums I've put out, and there it is on YouTube. You can listen to it for free. Just click the thing and tell me if you like it. Yeah, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I love y'all. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.